Good evening everyone and welcome to another Mech Merlin stream. And as you guys can see from the stream title down below, it is the Chosfox Fox 65, a 65% keyboard with a slider mechanism. So this board went on group buy for about, at least my unit, polar blue anodized, so it's 176. If you go for the electrophoresis coating, it does go up a little bit more just because electrophoresis is more expensive. Different styles of counterweight. This one's, I think, a red brass counterweight, but you can choose steel, regular brass, or red brass. And you also have tri-mode, which is the standard PCB, or a single mode, supports only wired. This is a QMK NVIDIA powered board. Keyboard structure, gasket and top dual structures. So thankfully it's not one of those gaskets that you have to like paste on. They kind of work like gasket poles, if you will. It's a 1.2mm PCB, 2.4 gig wireless wired BT 5.1 connection, interchangeable right side pusher or keypad, and you've got your choice of different plates, FR4, Palm, or PC. Let's see, Zark just joined in. QMK and VIA with caveats. Yes, whenever you see QMK and some kind of wireless, then you know there's definitely like a caveat there. Board comes in your typical keyboard case. It does have some Chosfox branding, as you can see. You've got holder here for all the components. You've got PCB, the brass weight, screwdriver tools of sorts. This looks to be might be the slider mechanism. Usually people just have like a little pouch and then the keyboard, but what if you put like the tools in here? There's a chance that it damages your keyboard. So a lot of people use like handkerchiefs or something, but this one actually has this protective layer. Fox 65 in blue. I did get to choose the color this time. I realized I don't have a blue in this shade. Look, you've got the Chosfox logo right there. Lots of foam in this build, actually. You've got case foam, plate foam, you name it. There's cabling right there. Yeah, I've actually been pretty excited about this board simply because I don't have a board with a slider. I mostly have like rotary encoders. And the thing with rotary encoders is, at least the way I have them programmed is you would be like tap to mute it, and then, you know, turn it left to lower the volume, turn it right to increase the volume. I've noticed that in some cases I'll mute it, you know, because like maybe like a call comes in, right? So I mute it. Sometimes if I'm a little bit too drastic in my movements, I'll bump the keyboard or I'll bump the rotary encoder and it bumps up the volume right away. With the slider like this, the chance of that happening is a lot lower. The knob reminds you of Squidward's nose. I actually wish that they would have provided different types of knobs, like different colors, different materials as well. This would have looked good if it was gold. There it is, FR4 plate. They did stuff this with foam. So in this current setup, I've got plate foam, I've got P foam, and I've got, usually I call this the case foam, but I guess it's back PCB foam. So yeah, these guys are also using KL hot swap sockets. Nothing out of the ordinary there. As you guys can see, there's also in-switch LED lighting. And this is where the slider mechanism goes in. You'll notice that the PCB is screwed into the plate, which, you know, typically would give you a harsher typing feel, stiffer typing feel. But since it's an FR4 plate, I think that will negate some of that harshness. So yeah, my switch of choice today is KBDFans roller switches. I absolutely love the feel of these guys, so I will keep using them. So yeah, let's see what this guy looks like. I'm willing to bet it's the same color as the badge and the same color as the switch. You can kind of already see the color through it. So yeah, it's the red brass. Oh, it's not the red brass, it's the regular brass. That's interesting. Everything else on the board is red brass, but I got regular brass. interesting. All right, let's put these KBD roller switches on. Yeah, roller switches are, I keep forgetting, what are they made of? Just know that they sound really sharp. KBDFans roller switches are palm stem. The top housing is the transparent ink PC, which we don't know what the material is made of, but the bottom housing is PA66, which is a derivative of nylon. Oh guys, like I just noticed something about this plate. You have an option for a split spacebar, and the PCB has that same option too. I've got all the switches in. Now we gotta put the board together to figure out how this works. The USB port comes out through the brass weight. Okay, looks like it goes in upside down. So this guy's magnet aligns with that. Let's screw this one in first. Man, I don't know which screws to use. I'm going to assume the screws that are hex are going to be the ones that affix the case, and the screws that are Phillips heads are going to be the screws that affix these guys. The Allen-shaped hex heads look nicer than the Phillips heads ones, so I'm gonna keep the Phillips heads ones inside. At least that's my logic. So keep in mind, this is a $179 board. I would not classify this as the high end of the high end, but I'm noticing that the anodization, yeah, you can definitely see some streaking here. If I show it just under the right light, you guys can start to see it. But it's good that it's internal. Like once you put the brass weight on, you won't see it. 'Cause I don't see it anywhere else here. Yeah, I don't see it on anywhere else, but you can definitely see it in there. Right, I have it connected. And before I button it up, I am actually gonna plug it in and see if that magnet connection actually works or not. And voila! Okay, it works. Keyboard setup assistant has popped up as well. Okay, that magnet thing is really cool. Oh yeah, this is one of those seamless boards where you can't see any of the screws. They're all done from the top here. This is probably not the smoothest slider I have experienced. It's kind of like, if you watch how I'm moving it, so that's an even amount of friction, even amount of friction, even amount of friction, and then when you get over to this point, it just goes straight up. It's not really even. I would still say that for my use case, this is still preferable over a rotary encoder. So with that said, let's put on NicePBT Soyamilk. Oh yeah, I think that blue is working out really nicely. DJ Merlin. You know, if keyboards don't work out for me, I suppose I could. It's not exactly the shade of blue that I was hoping it would be, but I think it's still a match. It's still a pretty keyboard. Let's see, how does it sound? Oh yeah, okay. Here, let me show it off. Pretty, pretty. Yeah, the blue, I think if it wasn't an anodized blue, it would match more, because like the reflective nature is kind of colliding with the more saturated blue. That. Also, if this was the same color as the logo, that would be better. But, you know, then again, I am very grateful for Chosfox for sending me this. It goes down to 0, but if I do it slowly, it's only like a quarter volume. Okay. The slider isn't working as well as I hoped it would. Okay, and now it's confused. I'm like switching it back and forth, and it's still saying that my volume is full. That's upsetting. I was really excited about this board because of the slider mechanism. But at least the board sounds good. Here, let's do a quick typing test. Wait, it's not typing. Why are you not typing? What happened? Oh no! It was typing just a second ago. Oh, there we go. Wait, did me playing with the slider confuse it enough that it just bricked the board? Interesting. Okay, let me just pause our tunes for the time being, and let's get to a typing test first, and then we'll mess around. Alright guys, this is the Chosfox Fox 65. I've built this with an FR4 plate, KBDFans roller switches. All foams in it. You got your plate foam, you got your PCB foam, you've got an under PCB foam, and a chassis foam, which I think is meant to prevent it from shorting. But all foams are in it, and it is using NicePBT Soyamilk from Keycaps. I like how it sounds and I like how it types. These are like some of my favorite switches in terms of sound and feel, so I am definitely not disappointed at all with the keyboard. But there are some issues that I am concerned about. So let me try that again. So earlier I played with the slider enough that it stopped the board from working. Let me try and replicate that. Okay, I'm back in a perpetually muted stage. Now let's type. It's dead. It's dead. Nothing's coming out. Nothing's coming out. Okay, I'm gonna manually change the volume. Okay, volume is back up. And then if I use the slider doesn't control it anymore. It's dead. It's dead. It's dead. Okay, the only way is to unplug and plug it back in. Did I recover? Yes, I recovered. That could just be a fluke. Let's try that exact same thing again. And we're gonna make like a DJ. Okay, to be fair, this is not the intended usage. You know, no one's ever gonna do this unless it's like a fidget toy. Okay, I am now in a perpetually 100% volume situation. We're gonna type. It's dead. Okay, that is completely 100% reproducible. You know, to be fair, this is something I would do when I'm bored. Ah, shoots. Okay, because like on like rotary encoders, I definitely spin it. Let's test it with a board that has rotary encoder. MechWeld clunker. Does this... Okay, yeah, it's called a clunker because it's got a solenoid. I am literally going to change the volume up and down as often as I did with this. It's still responding just fine. I'm not getting into... Types just fine, okay. Alright, we are at an hour and 20 minutes. I think I can give a quick summary of my findings on this board. I like the keyboard as a keyboard. It feels good when I type on it. It sounds good. It is an ideal keyboard typing experience for me. Building experience wise, it was actually pretty interesting. The last couple boards I've built, I've had significant difficulty when connecting the daughter board, the USB-C portion, to the main PCB. This board has it as a magnetic connection, which I think is great. I think it's really cool that they did it that way. Overall, a very easy build experience. The only issue I had with the build was figuring out what screws went where. I basically picked based on aesthetic preferences, but if there was a build guide, that would be great. In terms of functionality though, that's the only gripe I have with this board. This slider, if you stress test it, or if you fiddle with it, which most people will most likely do, you will inevitably get your OS to be in a state where it's perpetually 100%, perpetually muted, or perpetually something, and there is nothing you can do about it because for some reason the board just craps out. It stops responding. You can't type, you can't even change it anymore. Like even if you manually change it on your OS with your mouse, your keyboard is still dead. The only way is to unplug it and plug it back in. I have the wired version. It may function differently wireless. If it was a wireless board, you couldn't just unplug it, right? Because the battery's inside. You'd have to go in your system settings or something and disable the connection that way. So it's a little bit annoying. So, but for 170 bucks with those caveats, I think the board is cool enough to give it a try, especially if it's only being sold for 167. I think at that price, it's worth giving it a try. Oh yeah, I'm just really disappointed in this slider. This is my first slider board, and for it to malfunction like this is not ideal. It's not ideal at all. I would use this for work, no problem. I just would probably tape up the slider mechanism so I don't inadvertently touch it. DJ Merlin Dreams dashed, 100% dashed, 100% dashed. But majority of people still use Windows. I wonder if they'll experience the same issues on a Windows PC as I have on a Mac OS. If you have this, if you're watching this on YouTube or if you're watching this VOD and you have this board and you have a Windows machine, let me know. I'd be very curious because I might just use this for my Windows PC then if there are no issues. Well, anyway, hope you guys enjoyed watching this stream. My next stream will be either Thursday or Friday. Like I said earlier, I need to prep a customer's board. He requires min-maxing being done, and I'm pretty slow at that. So rather than having a 7-hour, 8-hour stream, I'm going to do a 3 to 4 hour stream. We'll see. I'll do it with wine or like whiskey. We'll see. Other than that, hope you guys have a good rest of your week, and I will see you when I see you. Good night, everyone. See you next time.